Hello, and thank you for pressing play. Welcome to A Beer with Bear or any other beverage. This is episode 48, and our guest for this week from the world of horror, he's a writer, he's a director, and a musician, Adam Gierasch. You can find us anywhere podcasts are heard, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Republic, we're on all of them, and SoundCloud.com. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe, leave a rating, leave a review, and tell your friends. Follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram under Beer with Bear Pod, and Twitter at Beer with Bear. There you'll find pictures, updates for upcoming episodes, as well as the best way to contact us. All right, let's get started. So Adam Gierasch, we talk about his early days as an actor, his love for punk rock, and also music that he calls heavy. How he got his start working with Tobe Hooper, and if you don't know who that is, he is a man behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We also talk about Adam's movies like Autopsy, the remake of Night of the Demons, and most recently, Tales of Halloween, which is featured on Netflix. Check it out. His story is called Treat. Oh, and I also had the pleasure of meeting his wife and writing partner, Jace Anderson, who pops in a couple of times during the interview. They're a really awesome couple, and I look forward to hanging out with them again in the future. Theme music by Chris Helking, graphic design by Jeremy Fletcher, mixing and post-production by Gator McMurder. Thank you very much, and enjoy. I gotta say, though, I'm pretty impressed. When I came to your house, I was hoping it was gonna be just pretty much what I see now. Old horror vintage posters from like the Black Scorpion. I see their skulls everywhere, little goofy heads.
Jesus.
I see I got zombies in the shelves. Do you have like a wicked VHS collection around here?
No, we don't even have a VHS player, I don't think. We got a lot of fucking DVDs, though.
Because I noticed that, like, you on social media, you see people who are down to the horror thing, which seems to be getting bigger, which is probably good for you, I would say, right?
Yeah, so it's so weird. I've been doing it for so long, I don't even notice, really. I'm just sort of do what I do, and, you know, but there are some people. I was talking to the singer of this really great band called Acid Witch, and he only, his name is Slasher Dave, and he only likes to watch movies on VHS, and I'm just like, if I remember, they looked pretty bad.
I think it's more of a sentimental thing because it's in the past. Rewind, the VHS, the cardboard, everything about it.
Yeah,
and not to mention, I think a lot of those movies you can't really get on DVD anymore, can you? Aren't they only on VHS? Some of the old horror films.
It's okay. It's actually a pretty interesting thing. Every time we switch to a new system to watch stuff, when we went from film, when you had to watch movies in the theater, to then VHS, there were some movies that never got brought to VHS. And
okay.
Then from VHS to DVD, there were some movies that were never brought to DVD. And now that we're streaming, some movies have never been brought to streaming.
Yeah.
An odd one that never even got put on DVD was Looking for Mr. Goodbar.
Looking for Mr. Goodbar. Which one's that?
It's a really dark movie with Diane Keaton. Oh God, that movie's dark. That is one. Want
to give me just a brief explanation on it, or a brief?
It's about this school teacher that's into sort of the free love, sleeping around.
And she's a school teacher.
Yeah, while she's a school teacher.
Okay.
It's weird. It also stars starts to have an affair with Richard Gere, very, very young Richard Gere.
Is this before the gerbil incident or after?
This is, well, I don't think the gerbil incident actually happened. But it would have technically been before pre-gerbil. And she meets this other guy played by Tom Berenger, and it's let's say their relationship goes bad in the worst way. It's a genuinely scary like movie.
Okay, you said
It's dark. I don't want to ruin the ending.
No, definitely no spoilers. So okay, so we'll check it out. Is it available on VHS?
It's only available
Only on VHS. Never made it to DVD.
Never made it to DVD, and it was nominated for an Oscar too. I mean, she was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress for it. One of the few dark horror kinds of movies that's been nominated for an Oscar. Sort of like Get Out gets nominated this year.
Oh yeah.
Rosemary's Baby was nominated back in the day for what's her face who played the old woman next door. I always forget her name.
Oh, I'm the worst when it comes to actors' names. I'll see an actor. George Clooney is one because he's big enough. But certain actors, I'm like it came up on an episode. They're talking about Jurassic Park. I call the guy Alan Grant. I don't know his fucking name.
Okay, he was in Dead Calm. He was also in Dead Neil. He played Damien in The Omen 3.
Oh, okay. So the older version.
Yeah, the older Damien Neil. Okay, okay, I'm losing my mind. Okay.
So going back to some of the VHS talk and everything, where do you even find VHSs nowadays? I told you I see online, social media, people post their VHS collection. I'm like, wait, where do you go shopping for those? Where do you buy those? They don't make them anymore.
I think that there's a lot of eBay action that must be taking place. Like I said, it's weird. My memory of VHS was, I remember watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on it and thinking it was such a grungy looking, nasty looking movie. And then when I saw it in the theater, I'm like, no, this is actually a pretty good looking movie. I mean, it totally warped my perception.
Oh, the 70s version?
Of the VHS version, which I had never seen in the theater when I was a kid. So,
so you saw it on VHS, then you saw it again in the theater as an adult.
In the theater,
was it released
down at the? No, I saw it down at the Egyptian.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it? Wait, did you see it in the theaters recently, or as a kid?
No, it was more recently.
Oh, okay. Because I would figure they would take the old. I'm going to release in the theaters. They'd probably clean it up a bit, though, make it digital. Sharpen it up a bit.
This is not. There is apparently I believe they did a 4K restoration of it, but I don't know. I don't understand why you would do a 4K restoration of a movie that was shot on 16 millimeter. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That for sure is one of my favorites. I don't know about the freaking remakes. Aren't they making a new one? Like Leatherface now? They're making how many?
I don't know if are they doing a new one?
I think they are.
I mean, obviously, I mean, Tobe Hooper, who directed that, got me my start.
Yeah.
And Jace, we wrote three movies for Tobe. So
yeah, I know you did. What was it called? The Toolbox Murders.
Yes, that's the one I like.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I'm proud of. Yes, the other two not so much.
Oh, what were the other two called? For those listening, he's going to tell you the name of the movies. Don't watch them. He's not proud of them, but watch the Toolbox Murders.
Crocodile and Mortuary.
Wait, Crocodile? Is that like that movie that was on the Sci-Fi Channel?
Yes, it was.
My grandma loves that fucking movie. That's how I know, because my grandma is a suck. She loves those freaking old sci-fi movies, so I'd watch them with her. With the back, that's actually we'll go back to it later. But how I saw freaking what's it called, Night of the Demons, was on Sci-Fi Channel.
And they must have bleeped a lot of fucks and stuff on there.
Yeah.
Can we say fuck on this?
Oh, we can say anything you want,
Good.
dude.
Okay, just making sure.
No, definitely. So going back, you said, we're talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So Tobe Hooper got started now, and when we first met him, we had the same agent. Tobe passed away recently.
Yeah.
But
for those listening who don't know, give them a quick thing on Tobe Hooper.
Yeah, Tobe Hooper was one of the sort of what they call like the big four, like horror, like OG horror movie, horror masters,
masters of horror,
masters of horror. And I this is debatable, but I would, because people might want to add some other people in, but it was Tobe Hooper, John Carpenter, Wes Craven, and George Romero.
George Romero, yeah.
No, I would also, just for the sake of film
quality,
I would add David Cronenberg in there as well. Yeah.
David Cronenberg, what's he known for?
Scanners and the Brood and The Fly, and he's great.
Okay,
I think he's just awesome. One of the best directors like ever.
Yeah,
one of my very favorites.
Yeah, I never saw Scanners. I know what it is. I did see The Fly 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, that was part 2 was it was written by Mick Garris, who lives actually right down the street.
Everyone lives around here, huh?
Oh, everybody! And it's so funny. We're in sort of this weird horror mecca right now. Our friend Darren Bousman, who directed the Saw 2, 3, and 4. He lives not about a half a mile in that direction. You can't really see which direction I'm pointing because it's a podcast.
Yeah, but he's pointing behind himself. Yes, he's pointing to his wall.
I'm pointing that direction. So Darren lives there. Neil Marshall, who directed The Descent and Lost in Space, which might be it's a TV show that's on Netflix, or probably will be when this comes out, or almost.
Okay.
But he did Doomsday and.
Wait, Descent. Which one is that again? That sounds familiar.
Girls in a Cave.
In the cave with the thing. Oh, that fucking movie. That ending fucked me up.
Yes.
I'll spoil it. I don't give a fuck. That ending fucked me up. I thought she got away, and then she woke up. She was still in there. She was hallucinating.
There's 2 endings to that one.
Oh, okay. Actually. Is there a happy ending?
There's a happier ending.
Okay, I want a happy ending.
It's not. There is one though when she doesn't wake up in the cave. Okay,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, where does she wake up at? Let's spoil it, people. For my listeners.
She wakes. She doesn't wake up. It's just like she turns her head and there's this her dead friend's face there. And
that's not happy.
But it's not bad. I mean, it's just a hallucination.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay, so so we're in like a little horror mecca right here.
Yeah, so Neil Marshall lives there. Our friend Joe Bashara, who did the score for he does scores. He did he does all the James Wan, The Conjuring. He does the what was the one with the Jace? What's another? That's my wife coming in. What's the other movie? Jameson movies Joe has done the score for.
Oh, I'm sure you've said
Conjuring,
Insidious.
All
Insidious.
The Insidious movies. My movie Autopsy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You did the score for Autopsy?
Yep.
And didn't he do Grave Dancers?
Yeah, he did. He did Grave Dancers for Mike.
That's a good segue, actually, because I know a lot of times if you heard my show, you actually didn't hear my show, but it's a music podcast as well. I like to incorporate music. Yeah. And one of the things I really love doing is my time is, especially while driving, if I want to get pumped up for something. Like on the way over here, I was listening to scores for horror films, right? Would you like to play, what's one horror film score you would like, you enjoyed listening to?
I like the ones with, I love Tubular Bells from The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
Even though that was, weirdly enough, that wasn't written for the movie. That was a classical piece.
Okay, going back though, I want to talk about The Exorcist a little bit because I saw in one of your previous interviews you were mentioning The Exorcist, and one thing you mentioned that was pretty cool is that how horror films lately aren't for adults, and Exorcist was for adults.
Yes, big time.
Especially the time it came out.
My parents wouldn't let me near that theater. It was, and it's still, I still watch it. Like, I watch that one generally about 3 or 4 times a year, and it's really well made. It is one of those just like wow kind of movies where it's just like the acting is great. It's still scary. It's like, especially in the Exorcist, the version you've never seen, it's called, is when she does the back walk down the stairs.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes. No, The Exorcist, totally scared the fuck out of me, too, because when I was a kid, the rumor was it was a real story. So, you grow up, you think it's real, you're like, it fucks with you. Yeah, that music, too, that fucking theme scares you. Yeah. And she's a little girl. I was a little kid. I'm like, it could happen to me.
Yeah, Linda Blair runs a dog rescue.
Oh, you know what? A friend of mine, he's into dogs too, big horror film guy. I'll tell him about this later on. He actually knows Linda Blair for that very reason, the dog rescue thing.
Yeah. My friend Joe, the composer, went over to Linda Blair's house to go see if he could adopt dogs. He wound up not getting one, but he said she was really nice.
No, that's so cool. So, I'm glad like she's around still, because you know how every especially nowadays, a lot of the old actors from horror films, actors in general, the older ones, they're all dying. So
it makes you. It's like every birthday I have, I'm like, just 1 year closer to death.
Yeah, we lost Romero, we lost Toby.
Yeah, I mean,
With Wes Craven.
And Carpenter's still out there, and so is Cronenberg's.
Yeah, Carpenter. He's producing a new Halloween film, right?
Yes, he is. Blumhouse is making.
Oh, okay. Do you like Blumhouse's work? You ever do anything for them?
No, I've never done. I mean, have I ever done anything before I speak too soon? No, I don't think I have. I've met there a lot. I've been rejected by them numerous times.
Okay. That's heartbreaking. How many times have they rejected you?
Oh gosh, a lot.
Well, has there been a movie that they rejected that you actually made without them and it did well?
No.
Oh, okay. No. So it's probably for good reason.
No, a lot of this is for writing jobs.
Oh, okay.
Like we go in and pitch a TV series, or we pitch a show. They've read a script. Yep, rejection. Welcome to Hollywood. Our friend Ryan works there. He's super nice.
Does he live around here too?
No, he does actually. Ryan Turek. He used to go by the name Ryan Rodden.
Okay, I like how you have like cool neighbors. You said before this you live next to Marilyn Manson, right?
That was back when we lived below Lake Hollywood. Yeah. We lived next to Marilyn Manson and Rose McGowan.
I love Rose McGowan.
Yeah, I wrote and directed a play that she starred in with me. We did together called Welcome to Los Angeles, which is not horror in the slightest. It was just this self-indulgent thing about caricatures of people who live in LA.
Okay.
It was sort of interesting. But I mean,
hold on.
I remember we got a really, really
He's
terrible review from the Hollywood Reporter, I believe it was. It's Dramalogue. That was back when there was a Dramalogue. Yeah, so I just remember they tore us a new asshole. That was for sure.
Yeah.
So you interview a lot of people in bands too?
Yeah, it's a lot of bands, artists as well. I've had like painters on a movie. I had a special effects director who you mentioned, Norman Cabrera, who did some work for you. Said a friend of yours, Grave Dancers.
He did Grave Dancers.
Yeah,
and a bunch. And did a Hellboy for Guillermo and a bunch of people.
His resume is insane.
Yeah,
I couldn't get it all in one episode. I had to bring it back on just for that reason.
You should hit up Rallis Khan.
Rallis Khan.
Yes, he's the lead singer of a band called Gothic Industries, Gothic Industry, and he's a great makeup effects artist. He did a great kill scene for me in this one movie I did. He's a fantastic makeup effects artist and also a rock and roll type person.
I was watching since we brought up Grave Dancers as part of the whole 8 films of horror thing. I remember you did one of those films, right? You did, what was it called? Autopsy. You did 2 of them. Okay, there's Autopsy, and what was the second one?
It's called Fertile Ground.
Fertile Ground. I didn't see Fertile Ground, but I did see parts of Autopsy. I'm not really too into the gore fest stuff. I saw a picture of you next to a bunch of legs, and then I saw a scene where he's cutting out the guy's liver and looking into it. I was like, fuck! Dude!
Autopsy was the first movie I ever directed. It's interesting. It's on Hulu. Now, I kept getting, it's weird. We put up a Facebook page. This was a while ago, before Facebook was really what Facebook is now. Mm-hmm. But we put up a Facebook page, and we were hoping to get a couple, like 100 likes or so. It was very small. So the other, about a year and a half ago, I kept getting these notifications going, you have 5 new likes for Autopsy, 6 new likes for Autopsy. I'm like, what? Where is this? Why people can't remember this movie? And then I found out it was featured on Hulu, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went onto Hulu, and I'm like, damn, there's my movie. And that was an interesting one because I didn't know what I was doing per se as a director, but I learned a lot, and I had a great director of photography who was fantastic, and I'm actually pretty happy with that one. For somebody that didn't know what they were doing, it's a fun movie.
That's when it got good reviews. Yeah. I was looking under it. It got people who dug it. It's the special effects, and you had a pretty cool cast. You had some Terminator 2 love in there.
Yes, I had 2 Terminator 2 people. I had Robert Patrick
and what's her face? I call her Vasquez.
Vasquez from and we. Jace, Who plays Vasquez? She'll remember.
I have it right. Actually, I wrote it down, but I call her Vasquez. You can tell me her name. It's Jeanette something.
Jeanette Goldstein.
Jeanette Goldstein.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't know her name. We call her Vasquez. I still call what's his name? Patrick. I still call him a T1000.
Yeah. No, I always think of her as Vasquez too. Actually.
Yes, it was when she came in to audition. It was like, whoa, Nellie.
That's cool. So she came in. Did you?
Oh, totally.
Did you nerd out on her?
No,
I just went silent. And I was like, it's Vasquez.
It's Vasquez.
Vasquez. Oh my God, it's Vasquez.
No,
She walked in. It's like, you've been confused for a man.
No of you. But the
Wolfie's fine, honey. Where are you?
yes. But the it's weird. Like when when I'm auditioning actors, let's say I see them in the waiting room, and I'm like,
so you're part of the casting. You're part of the it's called the casting.
Yeah, when I'm directing for sure, and sometimes when I'm writing.
Okay,
yeah,
what would you call that? You're a casting person. I don't know.
Well,
See, I don't know
you
the
have
lingo.
a casting director.
There we go, casting director.
You have a casting director, but as the director, or even sometimes as not often, but sometimes as the screenwriter, you come in and you watch the auditions. And it's weird. So as soon as somebody comes in, I'll get a little starstruck. But as soon as I start talking to them, I have to like put on my professional face. I don't nerd out really. I'm pretty solid about that. It was sort of like I find the hard thing is, let's say you know somebody from something, you're a fan of them, and they have to get naked in your movie.
Oh, shoot. Has that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Give me an example real quick.
Everybody out there, please watch my favorite movie I've done. It's called Fractured.
Oh, Fractured, yeah.
Yes. And that's, and I have both,
Who's naked? Vinnie Jones?
No, Vinnie Jones is not naked. Probably that, which is probably a good thing. Callum, who I knew from a TV show called was it Pushing Daisies or something like that, and Ashlyn Yenny, who was in Human Centipede 1 and 2.
Well, I want to go to this right here, but first I want to go back to the Autopsy since it's what we're talking about. You're talking about the T2 cast. So how did you get approached for that film? Because like I said, you had Robert Patrick in it, you had Vasquez, and it's pretty good. It's, like I said, it's gory, it's fun, it's 8 films of horror. It's kind of, I guess you can say it's kind of big in the horror community. Tell me how you got the call for that. How did they know who you were? What were you known for before that?
We wrote me and my wife and we're talking to a friend of ours that just moved to town. He produced a movie that we had written called Mortuary, the one that Tobe Hooper directed.
The one you don't like? The one we're not going to watch?
Yes, the one that. Well, some people really like it. So who am I to be? Who am I to be like dissing on my own shit, man?
I hate myself too. I don't worry about it.
But so my friend Evan, E.L. Katz, he's known in movie land, moved to L.A. and I said, Evan, make a deal with you. You write a script with us, I'll get it made. And he said he wrote Autopsy with us, and we gave it to our agent, and we got 2 offers for it, and we went with the best one. It was then we said, okay, so I basically wrote my way into directing.
Okay, and then so as a director, what exactly is your job to do? Because I always see the directors, directed by so and so. Like, you know how, it was a good movie, but the director sucked. Like, what's the biggest role you play in that?
It's weird. We're often taught to believe in something the French came up with called the auteur theory, which is if, the director has everything to do with everything in the movie. I don't find that to be true.
Unless you're George Lucas.
Basically as a director, you have a vision, you have an idea for what you want the movie to be.
So you read the script, you read the source material.
Or in my case, I write the scripts.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, okay, I want it to look like this, and then you hire somebody that can that can take what's in your head and hopefully even make it better than it is. So George Lucas, for example, in Star Wars, I mean, I don't think he knew exactly what every single alien in the bar was going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I want a bunch of cool looking aliens. And somebody came up and designed a bunch of cool. So in some ways, your job as a director is to hire people that are better than you.
Oh, okay, I see.
In each category. And then so you pick a DP, a director of photography, a cinematographer, whatever you want to fucking call them, that's shot beautiful looking movies before, and you cast the actors, though there is always a lot of producers wanting you to put names in there and stuff like that, so there's that kind of thing. And then on set you direct the actors to how you want them to do. You help the cinematographer what kind of shots you want, and do we want a long, like, True Detective kind of one, or or just one long take? Do you want it to be, you want like standard TV coverage? I could babble on about this kind of thing forever, but it is boring.
No, I'm just curious too, because you always like say there's a franchise, right, and they have different directors for it. Since we brought up Star Wars, the the first one was done by J.J. Abrams. Second one, that director sucked. This director sucked.
Rian Johnson is awesome.
I hated that fucking movie, but that's besides the point.
But
he wrote it too.
I have a great Rian Johnson story.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so my wife got us really bad plane tickets to go. We were going back east to visit my parents, and we had to stop over in Pittsburgh or something. And so, because we had bad plane tickets and we couldn't sit next to each other, I was sitting next to this guy who was reading Lord of the Rings, and he had the better seat, so I asked him if he would swap it with me, and he said no. But he's sitting there, so eventually I just turned to him, I'm like, hey dude, so you like that book? He said, yeah, I'm into it. And we started talking, and he was a screenwriter too. And we talked a bunch, and that was Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson? What year was that?
This was before he had done Brick, so this was a long time ago. And I told him we were having a party, when we were getting back. So he brought his friends Lucky McKee and Steve Yedlin, who was the cinematographer to the movie that you love so much, The Last Jedi.
Fuck you. But the visuals were good though. I mean, I just didn't like the story because if you look at I'm a Star Wars fan. So I was divided. People loved it, people hated it. I'm on the side that didn't like it. I mean, fuck.
See, you know what?
I was almost in tears.
Okay, but honestly, compare it to Attack of the Clones.
I hate Attack of the Clones. That's actually the only Star Wars movie I didn't see in theaters. I hated Attack of the Clones too.
Attack of the Clones sucks.
It was awful.
It's painful. That romance in it
it was bad.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
It's like torturous.
Yeah, that was because George Lucas had control of everything. He was writing the dialogue. He was like directing it. He had everything.
And how did he get such good actors to be so bad?
Yeah,
it was like, do me a favor. Can you do another take, but be a little more wooden?
Yeah.
I really should not be talking like this, but okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I doubt George Lucas will hear this podcast.
Yeah, I just doubt.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Wait, no, George Lucas.
Hey, George.
Is he
okay? You ever seen that movie? It's like The People versus George Lucas.
Oh, I saw clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, yeah, he gets roasted pretty good. I was doing I can't do the impression, but because I listen to podcasts, a Star Wars podcast, whenever they impersonate George Lucas, it's absolutely perfect. Before I do his voice, he's going, well, the fans will like it,
I heard somebody told me a story that up in whatever his Skywalker ranch or whatever it is, that I don't believe this, but it's a good story.
Okay, let's.
But they said that whenever George Lucas, if you were just a worker there, and you were low on the totem pole, and whenever George Lucas walked by, you had to turn your back and stare at a wall.
Oh,
you couldn't
dude,
look at him.
no way.
I'm sure I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
Everybody turning away, but it's
With the internet out, everyone would hear about that. It'd be like Me Too, except with George Lucas. He assaulted me. Or he was rude to us.
Everybody turn your back. Don't look at the God. Don't look at the God.
Oh, God. Did you ever see that movie, Fanboy?